Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have with me the Sony WF-1000XM5 headphones. Let's check them out. Let's get started. These headphones honestly are the industry benchmark in many aspects, so it is difficult to find weak points. They are really excellent quality headphones, although in Mexico they were advertised at an exaggerated price, 9,999 Mexican pesos, which is about $580. But don't panic, that's not their real price. It's just a fictitious price to make you feel you are saving a lot when you buy them cheaper. As of today, its price both in the official Sony store as well as on Amazon and other distributors is 4,499 pesos. That is approximately $260. Still an expensive price for headphones, but much more reasonable. Definitely they are not cheap headphones, but they are excellent quality headphones. So, in a way, we could say that their high price is justified, but what do you think if you join me to know them point by point so you can decide if you are going to buy them or not? Let's start with the case design, where we will find something very positive because with respect to the last generation, these are 25% smaller and 20% lighter. So, the truth is that they are extremely compact, very comfortable to carry, and as always, Sony emphasizes its construction with recycled materials. So that's why they are in this color. But something I really like is that as they are reference headphones, you will easily find special cases and accessories for them in case you want to customize them or change their style a bit. At the top, we will find the name of the brand. In front, we have a small LED indicator that will help us to know the current status of the headphones, while on the back we have the USB-C port for charging as well as a button for a very simple repairing. At the bottom, we will also find the area for wireless charging. So, they really offer everything we could ask for. The earbuds also have good magnetic absorption, and before they are going to fall out, the lid closes completely. I'm going to hold the lid simply so I can do this test, although this is very unlikely to happen to you in real life, but they still have good magnetic absorption, although they can still fall off. But I insist, this is unlikely to happen because before they fall out, the case will close automatically. The headphones are a bit larger than usual in this type of totally wireless headphone format, so they don't stand out as being extremely compact, but they are indeed comfortable. I don't consider that at some point they feel heavy or anything like that, so I like them, but what I like most about these headphones is that they have a special cushion made of polyurethane to reduce noise in the high frequencies. We'll talk a little more about noise cancellation later, but I think it is essential to have this type of ear cushions since most headphones integrate silicone ear cushions. But in this case, Sony goes for a little more premium materials and more advanced with respect to audio processing. In the internal part, we will find the indicator to know if it is the right earphone or the left earphone. Also the charging pins, and in that part there is also the sensor so that when you remove an earphone, the content you are watching is paused. Although this option can be activated or deactivated from the application. On the outside, we will find some microphones, obviously for capturing your voice and also for capturing the sound or noise to be cancelled. So, I insist that they are really very comfortable headphones even though they have larger than average dimensions. And next we are going to do a test to see the grip that these headphones can get, because I think that in this aspect we will possibly find one of their main weaknesses. It doesn't mean that the headphones will fall off you easily, but obviously there are other sports headphones that have some special headband or grip for a better grip. But let me shake my head and let's give it a try. It really is the most extreme test I have done to any hearing aid, and it didn't even fall out. So, in a way we could confirm that without the need of any special headband, the hearing aid stays well in place. Although obviously this can vary a lot depending on the different shapes of the ears, but at least in my case it didn't fall out, it didn't even get out of adjustment. So you can maintain good reproduction and good cancellation even if you are exercising. They weigh in at 5.9 grams each. They're obviously constructed of plastic in order to be lighter, and honestly they feel good in the hand and they feel good sitting in the ear. They also integrate IPX4 certification, so they are splash resistant. Possibly, just to get picky as they are expensive headphones, we could ask for an even higher certification so that they could withstand in case we were to drop them in water. So, being high-end headphones, we'd like to see an IPX8 certification, which is rare in the headphone market, but Sony, make it happen. Now let me tell you all about the controls we have on these headphones. By default, the left earphone is focused on ambient sound or noise control and also a feature called quick access. So with one touch, you can change the noise mode, whether you want the cancellation or you want the ambient mode to hear what's going on around you. And with the default settings, you have 2-tap disable and 3-tap disable for interacting with other things. But in the app, you can determine what you want to happen with the quick access feature on this left earpiece with 2 or 3 taps. For example, with 2 taps, we could select to open the Spotify tab service or also the Endel service or the Amazon Music service. 3 taps will do exactly the same thing. These services from both Spotify and Amazon would allow you quick access to your recommendations from both streaming music platforms. This without the need on the cell phone to go and open the app and other things. So it may work out as shortcuts for some people, but personally I would like to see them let us select any other option on the left earpiece by having 2 or 3 taps. But in this case, the only thing you could go as far as trying to customize the controls on the left earpiece is to change them to work exactly the same as the right earpiece. On this right earphone, we have the playback control. So with 1 tap, it will be play or pause. With 2 taps, you can go to the next song. And with 3 taps, you can go to the previous song. So, the truth is that the controls are very complete because also if you press and hold on the left earphone, we have a quick attention mode with which the music will lower its volume aggressively and you can listen to what is happening in the environment. Then you do not need to remove the earphone to hear what the person who approached you is saying, but simply keep your finger on this earphone, and while your finger is in that position, you will be able to hear and talk perfectly with other people, and as soon as you remove your finger, the music will resume and the noise cancellation will be enabled again. However, if you want to remove the headset, the music will automatically pause so that you can talk and then resume your playback when you put it back on. On the other hand, the right earphone has another action when we keep pressed on it, and it will be to call our voice assistant. But this is not the only action you can do because it also has Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa fully integrated. Obviously, through the application, you must log in to configure and link these headphones, but you can perfectly say the activation words of both assistants and ask them for any type of information, reminders, sending messages, and everything that these voice assistants do independently. But if you thought that up to here the controls were already complete enough, well, let me tell you that you can also control the volume by pressing repeatedly on both the left and right earpiece. Let's go to volume down and volume up respectively. So we have a system of controls to complete that only getting picky on my side. I could ask you to give me more actions to customize on the left earphone to be able to keep the behavior of the noise selector, but also have more options with 2 and 3 touches. Although I repeat that is getting a little demanding, but since they are high-end headphones, we have to ask something from them. With respect to calls, the right earphone has taken over control of everything. With 2 taps you can answer the call, and with 2 taps again you can end it. Of course you could also reject the call, but what if your hands are busy because you are exercising? Sony has also thought about that, and through the application you can enable head gestures. So if a call comes in and you are exercising, you can say yes with your head and it will immediately accept the call. Or you could also say no with your head and it will reject the call. So definitely the controls are very complete, and the only thing missing is customization of the controls to make them perfect. Let's talk now about the sound. It really is another of the sections where these headphones practically touch perfection. They offer a very good presence of bass frequencies, but they do not overshadow the rest of the frequencies. The mid frequencies are not bothering either, and the high frequencies are well defined. In all senses, I feel that the reproduction is completely good. In fact, through the application, we will also find several equalization presets, so we can completely change the style of the sound that is emitting. And the truth is that the headphones respond very well to each of these changes, so you can have very good precision in the definition of the type of sound you want to hear through these headphones. In fact, you can also press the settings button to access a more specific equalizer, although it is only 5 bands and has a special setting for bass. But this is enough to customize your sound in an excellent way, and in fact also brings a specific function to find your equalizer. That is, here you can select the sound style you like best, and based on all this, Sony will offer you an equalizer completely adjusted to your liking, without necessarily having to go moving band by band. The diaphragm of these headphones is 8.4 millimeters, so it's honestly not as large as others in the industry, but it really is highly advanced. It can project sound from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, which is about what you would expect. But really the sound it puts out is of excellent quality. And another highlight is that it does have high-res wireless. So, it has the LDAC codec, which can reach up to 990 kilobits per second, although this option is disabled by default. In the application, you must choose if you want to give priority to sound quality, because by default, it gives priority to a stable connection. I recommend that if you are going to use these headphones in an environment where there are too many people, you should give priority to the stable connection. But if you are listening to music where there are not so many people, you could prioritize the sound quality. And as you can see, at the top it shows you the LDAC codec, although it must be enabled manually on each device. That is, even though you make the change in the app, you must also change in the settings. For example, in the case of Samsung, you must access the list of Bluetooth devices and the settings of these headphones. In this part, the LDAC codec must be enabled if you want to enjoy the maximum sound resolution. Obviously, not all cell phones support this LDAC codec, so pay attention if your cell phone supports it to know if you will be able to enjoy the maximum audio resolution or not. If your cell phone does not have such an advanced codec, fortunately, these headphones support the SBC AAC codec and the recently introduced LC3 codec. The latter is a codec focused on saving battery life and also features DSE Extreme, which is a protocol Sony uses to enhance audio with artificial intelligence. So even if your cell phone does not support such a high-resolution sound, with all these tools you can enjoy a very good sound experience. Although obviously if you use the LDAC codec, you will have the best experience. Sony also integrates other features such as Reality 360 audio, which in conjunction with streaming applications that support this same feature, you could get to have a more immersive sound, although it is a feature that Sony has not yet managed to popularize throughout the industry. Similarly, it supports spatial sound and tracking head movements to have a sound directed towards your cell phone. But honestly, these are features that I don't think we users are using much, even though many brands are trying to get us to use them. But what we do use a lot is noise cancellation, and in that aspect, these headphones are probably the best in the industry. They integrate Sony's QN2E processor in conjunction with another chip called VDOS. With this, they not only achieve excellent quality reproduction, but also a noise cancellation that is really too good. Above all, it stands out the excellent noise cancellation that comes to have in the high frequencies, which is where headphones can usually have problems. In this case, I even got to vacuum my house with a vacuum cleaner that makes a lot of noise, and really the experience was practically without any discomfort to listen to music. When you have the music paused, you probably do get to hear a lot more noise from everything going on around you. But as soon as you start playing music, it seems like this all gets optimized so that you really hear virtually nothing of what's going on around you other than just the music that you're listening to. So definitely the noise cancellation to me seems supreme and one of the strongest points of these headphones. Next, let's hear how my voice is picked up by these microphones that the headphones have built in at different noise levels.
Esta es la prueba en un ambiente silencioso sin ningún tipo de ruido adicional. Esta es la prueba de grabación de sonido con estos micrófonos utilizando un nivel de ruido en 20. Ahora estás escuchando la captación de estos micrófonos con un nivel de ruido en 40, que considero que ya es muy alto. Entonces yo diría que este ya es un ambiente muy ruidoso, así que dime cómo estás escuchando el sonido. Esta es la prueba con un nivel de ruido en 70. Es un ruido ambiental, como si estuvieras en un ambiente de trabajo o en un restaurante, y realmente yo ya considero que es un ruido molesto en este momento, pero quiero saber cómo se está escuchando la captación de mi voz. Es una prueba sumamente difícil.
As you noticed, the noise cancellation is not only excellent when listening to music, but also when making a call, since the microphones pick up the voice very well. Obviously, if you are in an environment with exaggerated noise, the voice will lose definition, but I like that no external noise is filtered while I'm silent. This despite the fact that the design of the headset does not include a tube that could direct the microphones a little better towards the mouth, so I think they are also very good for calls. Let's talk about the battery, although this can vary greatly depending on the habits of each user. But according to Sony figures, these headphones can give you a maximum of 8 hours of playback with noise cancellation, without considering the charging case. And if you consider the case where you can place them, and in an hour and a half they will be recharged, they can give you up to 24 hours of playback. Without noise cancellation, we would have 12 hours of playback without considering the case. So I think that the battery is not really a problem, but it is something totally positive. The case can be charged in about 2 hours, but they do have fast charging. So for the first few minutes, it's going to give you a more powerful charge so you can recover energy quickly. So with 3 minutes of just plugging them into charge, you can get up to 60 minutes of playback. Obviously, wireless charging will be a little bit slower, but these are headphones that I don't think you're going to have to be charging so constantly. Now let's talk about the connection. These headphones integrate good protocols for easy connection. For example, they have Google Fast Pair. So you just open them up or hold down the pairing button, and the Android devices immediately launch a dialogue to pair these headphones. So it really is a super convenient experience, and they also integrate Microsoft Swift Pair. So also Windows computers would be able to launch a dialog to immediately pair the hearing aids when you open the case or when you press the pairing button. You can also connect them to an iPhone or a Mac, although the process is going to be a little bit longer because you have to open the settings, go to the list of Bluetooth devices, search for the available device, and select Connect. But you can still make the connection. They are Bluetooth 5.3 headphones, so they offer a sufficiently stable and modern connection, and they have a feature to connect to 2 devices simultaneously. I tested and was listening to music with the headphones connected to the Mac, but when a call came in on my cell phone, immediately the headphones switched devices and I was able to answer. And the experience between switching from one device to another is super fast because the moment the call ended, it immediately switched back to the connection to the Mac to continue listening to music.
So really this experience of 2 connected devices is very good.
Really this
although then I was getting a little bit of a glitch when I was trying to connect it to the cell phone right now when I was recording because the Mac was on. And as I'm recording and I'm taking off and putting on the headphones and putting them on and putting them away and taking them off, I feel like it got into a little bit of a conflict. But I think in a case of normal use, where you're not constantly putting on and taking off the headphones or opening the app,
but I think in a case of normal use where you're not constantly putting on and taking off the headphones or opening the app, you'd have a better experience than I did. We're about to wrap up, but first let me show you the latency test to start with on a Galaxy device.
We've taken the lead.
Now let's listen to these same latency tests on an iPhone.
Contact with enemy!
From my perception, the Samsung device had a slightly lower latency, i.e., the sound reacted faster with respect to the touch. But it strikes me that these are headphones that do not have a special low latency mode or a gaming mode as we can find in some other headphones. Although usually these low latency modes come exclusively when they are headphones and cell phone of the same brand. So I don't have any Sony Xperia near me to test how they behave with that cell phone. But I think it can still be a point of improvement for headphones that look very complete, but that if Sony wants to continue improving, possibly the low latency section could still improve. Finally, let's take a look at the application, and in this case I switched to an iPhone so you can see that the application works on both operating systems. These headphones come with automatic noise control, so if they detect that you are walking or changing location, they will automatically reduce the noise to a lower intensity or even enable the ambient mode. But if they detect that you are sitting down or are on special transport, they will also immediately suppress the noise as much as possible. In fact, you could also register a special location so that when you change location, it will immediately change the type of noise control as well. From the application, you can also manage the devices that you have connected, so you can unlink them, or you can also set which device is a priority. You will also have control of your playback along with volume control, and from this application you can also visualize the battery status of both each earphone and the case. Within the sound tab, you can also enable an option so that when it detects that you are talking, it also immediately enables the ambient mode and you can hear what other people are saying when you are talking. Then the headphones emit a small sound to let you know that your voice was detected to turn on the microphone. We also have the equalizer that I showed you a moment ago, the 360 reality audio settings, the sound quality settings, and you can also enable or disable DSE Extreme, which is Sony's artificial intelligence sound enhancement. You can also configure the spatial sound that I was talking about a moment ago. You can tell it whether or not you want it to connect simultaneously to two devices. You can also configure the voice assistants. If you connect to an iPhone, Google Assistant will not appear, but only Amazon Alexa. That's a curious thing. You can select how you want the left earbud environment selector to work and the quick access services that I was showing you a moment ago as well. You can enable or disable the head gesture to answer or reject calls, and it also lets you try on different sizes of ear tips to select which one is optimal for you. This is ideal and absolutely necessary if you want to enjoy the best noise cancellation. You can also select whether or not you want your headphones out. It also brings the option to cancel the noise of calls. As we saw a moment ago, the headset will give you some notifications and voice responses to let you know its status, or if you change mode. You can adjust the volume of these alerts, and you can even change the language of the notifications you get, although the change may take a little longer to take place because the voice data has to be transferred. These headphones also receive software updates, although I must say that they are a bit slower than others I have tried, as it took about 40 minutes to update the headphone the first time, and that can be a bit annoying. The update I installed was to integrate the new Amazon Music Play Now service. I stress that these services allow you to quickly access their various features. For example, your recommendations on these two streaming platforms, but there is also another service that allows you to play relaxing music quickly, or also this one, which is an Ingress Prime game in augmented reality. So the services are quite a curious proposition that I had not seen in other headsets and can give you new experiences. For the moment, we have reached the end of this video. I have really found the headphones to be of very high quality. I have very few things to ask or complain about. Several of them I already mentioned, but one more would be that sometimes they are a little difficult to take out of their case. This may seem like a minor detail, but there are other headphones that are easier to remove from their case. And these headphones, I feel like at times it's a little more difficult than I would like to remove them from their charging case. Hopefully they improve that in the next generation, but it really is a very complete product. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us about it, and we'll see you next time.